So once again, we got to go with this. So we're doing the scale of B. So we put that line in there. Then our notes, right? There's B. And then another line for C. And then D, E, F, G, A, B, right? So now whole step, half step, right? Whole step link, whole step, half step. So we just did step 1 and step 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is where at the end, this is at the end. And if you have this number line, it's very handy, but you should have this number line by the end of the semester. This should be in your head. Okay, so B to C, we want a whole step, but it's not. So we got
C sharp.
C
C
sharp.
sharp, right? And there we have a whole step. Now we need another whole step, right? So we want to
D
go
sharp.
D sharp, right? And there we have another whole step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now from there we want a half step. So D sharp up to E, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's our lower tetrachord of the scale, right? And now we want a whole step link. So E, a whole step above E would be F sharp, wouldn't it? Right?
Yep.
Yes.
So here we got to do F sharp, right? Now we need a whole step above F sharp. So that's F sharp to
G sharp.
G sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we need a whole step above G sharp. So
A
we got
sharp.
A sharp, right? And now we need a half step. So that's automatically going to be
B.
B, right? So there's our B scale. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sharps. So F, C, G, D, A. Those are all the sharps in the key, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you see a piece of music and it's got sharps in it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This scale has 5 sharps in it. So that's the key of B. So this is the B major key. My writing is terrible with this little mouse. Okay, very good, guys. You guys get this?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yes.
so now all right, so this file has been sent to you. This file's, it's got all these in here. If you print out a file, it's got 15 pages of blanks. So the idea for you as students is to print it out, and for all the notes, we want to write a scale for every note, right? What do you mean all the notes? We make a scale for every note. A, actually we're going to do it this way. We're going to go A, B flat, B, C. We're going to do both C sharp and D flat, D, We're going to do E flat, E, F, F sharp and G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Got one extra one. 16, 17. If we just took one of the accidentals, we could do that actually probably for the first week. We'll just do this.
You're killing me, Smalls.
What'd you say?
I said, you're killing me, Smalls.
Is A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, F. Let's do F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. That should be 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. That's all 15 keys. So consider it to be homework.
You moved it.
No, I didn't. That's your eyes.
Okay, give me a second. Got it.
So the whole point is to just, just like math homework, the more practice you do, the more you get it. This isn't as hard as math, though.
Okay.
So let's start with A, and then the next page, B flat, and so on. B, we just did B. So that's the idea there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, this sheet here, this one is the letter names. So one, here's step one here. Step one. So we're just going to go A, B. My grandson would love this. C. He's 5. There. Now let's do blue. Step 2. So step 2, you put the formula in. Now I put that circle around that W just to show you the symmetry of this pattern. See, that's the pattern there, and it repeats, right? So the idea is that there's 2 segments that are identical, and there's a whole step in between. Now, certain music schools like Guitar Institute and MI in Hollywood, a couple of other music schools, they just go like this. So same thing, but you don't see the symmetry very easily, do you?
Mm-mm.
No.
And the music schools I went to, they always put that in there so you could see this. And the reason why is called, in ancient Greek music, this was a tetra. And then the original word was chorus. And that translated later into chord. And a chord in ancient Greece, you know, you've seen those lyres with the strings here, you know, right? A chord was a string. I'm doing terrible at writing. So chord meant length of string. And we still use that word for a chord, right? Like a length of a chord, right? But they somehow, somewhere around 1700, they put an H in the word, right? Okay, so a tetrachord is 4 notes. And then that comes from these Greek words, monad, right? Translated into modern, mono, right? Monad, dyad. And then, I'm doing good here. Let me fix this. I keep trying to explain this to you. You guys just laugh at me. Okay, dyad. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay, so 3 and then here we go. Mono means 1, right? So what's after tetrad? So we're worried about this. So a tetrachord is 4 notes. So here's 1 note, 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes. That's a tetrachord. What do we got for a background there, Ryan? Is that Julia Roberts? Who is that?
I don't know. It was just.
Looks like Julia Roberts.
Okay, so a tetrachord, the definition of a tetrachord is 4 notes. Did I have to use all that to explain it? No. Just a little bit of history here. I love these electronic erasers, man. Okay, so the reason why we put these 2 segments together is because you got 2 parts of the scale that are identical. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Now, what else could I do? I could have, for that tetrachord, I could have whole, half, right? I could go whole, half, whole, whole. Those are the 3 things you could do with it, right? You could take this and then move it over, right, to there, or you can move it over to there, right? These are the total possibilities of those 3 relationships, right? But you could also change those. And then the way you could change them is you could, instead of having 2 whole steps and a half step, you could have a whole step and then 2 half steps, right? So then to permutate those, you could do this, right? You could go.
So I understand what you're showing me here, but I thought that the formula never changed.
For
So
major,
what you're showing me is that it does change.
for major. For major.
Okay.
That's the major formula. Come on, keyboard. That's the formula for major.
Okay.
So if we do this, it's not major, is it? It's something else. That's a different formula.
Right.
That one, it's minor.
Okay.
So here's what we got. This one we don't use in this course, but I'll play it for you.
How do you pronounce it?
Phrygian.
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 So here's major. Here's minor. Here's Phrygian. Now you've heard minor versus major versus minor. Two totally different sounds, right? Here's minor. Here's major. Now Phrygian is the one they use for lots and lots and lots of flamenco and Spanish and Middle Eastern music. Here's what Phrygian sounds like. See, it's more Middle Eastern sounding, the Phrygian one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, Middle Eastern. And then that crept its way into music because of the countries where, like in Europe, major and minor comprise the bulk of everything in Europe. But then you got these countries on the periphery like Bulgaria, Romania, you know, the Balkans, then the Middle East. They started playing their scales And that took a long time for those scales to creep into European music. But eventually they finally did. Well, we still have major. And minor. So to answer your question, this formula, whole step, half step, that's a major tetrachord. And that never changes.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You said, I told you it never changes. For the major. Now, you guys want to play a reggae groove instead? Like, I got a better song. How about a minor? Minor is a sadder sound than major. The minor tetrachord is a different formula than a major. Are you getting that, Kim?
Yes.
So there's two totally different sounds. But those two are fixed. They don't change. One stays major, one stays minor. But that's what you do with the whole steps and half steps. You got WWH, then you can move the H over and you get WHW. You can move it over one more time and you got HWW. That's Phrygian. And the Phrygian is usually like mostly Spain. Spain is, you know, like you've got. Or an E. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'm in a class right now, Daniel. Thank you. University of Laverne calling me up. Hi, my name is Daniel, and I represent the University of Laverne. I go, okay. The next question is he's going to want to know if I want to donate some money to the Alumni Foundation or something. Isn't that always what it is?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What's the most popular line that telemarketers say? Hi, how you doing today? Right?
Yeah.
People call you up. How you doing today? Who says that? Which one of your friends say that? What do your friends? When my friends answer the phone, you know what they do? They just go like this. Hello. Hey. No. Right? Who calls you up? Hey, how are you doing today? Who is
Or
this?
they could say, how you doing?
How you doing? The thing is, my landline has turned into a spam dumpster for telemarketing calls. I think the only calls I get on my landline are from telemarketers.
Get rid of the landline.
I'm thinking about it because that's the only people who call are the telemarketers. Okay, so to clarify this again, we got the whole step, half step formula is major, right?
Yes.
That's fixed to be major. To be major, it has to be that. The minor one is a different relationship, so don't worry about that right now. And then only worry about this one when you go to Spain.
Okay. Got it.
There's a lot of Spanish guitar music available, really. I mean, have you guys got Spotify?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just type in Spanish guitar and you'll go nuts for like days, you know?
I actually got a visa for someone to come in to play his Spanish music guitar at Riverside.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, you'll hear the Phrygian mode like crazy.
I didn't go to the concert, so.
But what I'm saying is that's the scale that was in Spain, and then I'm sure you're going to hear it coming out of the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
and then those countries in between, we got Turkey morphing into Greece, morphing into Macedonia, morphing into the Balkans, into Bulgaria, Romania, Yugoslavia. All those Balkan countries have these kinds of scales. Bulgaria has a lot of scales like this, and Romania for sure. And then, Hungary. Those three countries have a lot of these scales, these Phrygian scales in them. But then you go further north into Poland, and they go right back to major scales because they're more into the folk music, like Polish and Ukraine. Folk music is more like this. It doesn't have
Sounds
that.
like a Western.
Well, it's
Sounds like
more
a song
oompa,
that should be in Western.
oompa, tubas and stuff. Polish and Ukraine and Finnish and Swedish folk music, major scales. Like that's all there is, in their music. But you go into Bulgaria and Romania, they got Phrygian, and they've got some weirdish scales too that are really more sour sounding scales. But we're not going to get into that in this course. All right, so here's the major scale of the two tetrachords, right? So the reason why I write it like that is instead of like that, is you can see easier on the eyes to see the two tetrachords, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now step 3. Okay. Oops. Using the chromatic number line, analyze the whole steps and half steps and put in the correct sharps and flats. Well, you should have the chromatic number line somewhat up here. So A to B is the whole step. B to C is not a whole step, so we need C sharp, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And C sharp to D is a half step, so that's good. D to E is the whole step. E to F is not a whole step, so we need F sharp, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And F sharp to G is not a whole step. We need G sharp to make that a whole step, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then G sharp to A is a half step. So there's our key of A. What's our next key, Ryan?
G major.
G. So we just go like this. I'm doing your homework for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are we turning this in?
What?
Are we turning this in?
We're going to do it online. I mean, you're going to read it off next time.
Okay.
This is not a heavyweight homework class. This is just, let's do some of these and so you get the hang of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we did that. Now this is the formulas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have this weird tick where I have to do this. I can't not do that, right? Now, analyze G to A is a whole step, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
A to B, is that a whole step?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Now we need a half step. That's B and C, right?
Yeah.
C to D, is that a whole step?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, D to E, that's a whole step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now we need another whole step.
The
F
F
sharp.
sharp.
F sharp, right? And now we need a half step. There we go. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I see Jared's name. Are you there, Jared? His microphone's off.
Yeah, I am. I'm just eating dinner.
You're always eating dinner, man. You were born that way. Okay, let's skip C. You guys can do that at home, okay? Let's do
Mhm.
D. So Jared, give me the scale.
It's gonna go D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D.
All right, Kim, formulas?
Whole, whole, half, whole with a circle.
I can't get away from that. And then,
Whole, whole, half.
okay, now, Cole, let's analyze that.
Mhm.
D to E, what do we got?
Whole step.
E to F.
It needs to be F sharp.
Yes, sir. And then F sharp to G, that's
F-
already
Half step.
F step. So we're good there, right?
Yeah.
G to A,
Whole step.
A to B,
Whole step. And
B to
then
C,
C sharp.
C sharp. And then C sharp to D, right?
Half step. Yeah.
Okay. So there's your key of D. Okay, so Kim, give me the key of E. Wait, in your honor, I'm going to use maroon.
Ooh.
Can you see maroon, or does this look like? Remember those crayons
A
when you were a
dark
kid?
maroon.
Remember those
It's there.
remember those Crayola crayons? They had burnt sienna. Remember those?
Yes.
Did you have Crayolas?
I remember Crayolas.
Yeah.
So
They had some weird
you
colors.
have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E.
Okay, now let me do this one. Now, Kim, continue to analyze it. We need a whole step. So what do we got here?
So that'll be F, F sharp,
F sharp, right? Now we need another whole step.
that would be A, no, I'm sorry. Give me a minute, don't tell me. It'd be G sharp,
Okay.
and then A,
Yeah, we got that part. Now we need,
whole step, B,
yeah, now we need another whole step.
C sharp,
C sharp.
and you need a half, which would be D sharp,
D sharp.
and then E.
E. Everybody there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this exercise is pretty simple. So we got all these. Trying to erase it here. I remember when I was a kid, they had this thing called an Etch-a-Sketch. Those things were cool.
I'm not admitting to that.
I'm giving you my age by Etch-a-Sketch. There used to be this cartoon when I was a kid called Winky Dink. And Winky Dink would get into trouble all the time. And you had to like help him. Like he'd be stuck on a cliff. Like he'd be a cliff over here, right? And he'd be stuck on the cliff, and there'd be another landmass here. And Winky Dink would be up here, right?
Yeah.
And there's a fire, something over here, raging, and he has to get to this over here. And in order to save Winky Dink, he had to cross a bridge, but the bridge didn't exist. So this company that made this cartoon sold these plastic screens that you could put on your TV, so kids could take their pens and draw a bridge, so Winky Dink could escape, right? And so they got in trouble because too many kids were drawing on the screens without the plastic screen. And they were ruining their parents' TVs with these markers, you know. So that company stopped doing that.
How long ago was this?
This was like, I must have been like 7 years old. So it was like 1966 or so. And Winky Dink was a popular show among kids because you got to draw, oh, we got to save Winky Dink, man. You got to draw the, oh, no, it was like, I was younger. I was like 6, because it was for real little kids, they got really excited, and the company made sure that, the parents knew that they could buy this plastic screen to put on the TV, and that was pretty cool, actually. I thought it was a good idea, but the kids who didn't have the screen would draw on the screen anyway with whatever they had, it was hilarious. All right, anyway, so here's this one here. And page 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Go as far as you can. If you can sit down tomorrow night, and then a couple of more days, sit down for another little brief period of time. See how far you can fill these out.
Okay.
And then we will touch on this again on Wednesday night. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are coming along pretty well because you understand the intervals already, right?
Mhm.
A whole step is a second, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am impressed with you guys. Jared, you're looking good as usual.
It was pork loin night. So
What?
pork loin night. We made
Fork and knife?
pork loin.
Pork loin? You should have a picture instead of your name of like a fork and a knife up there so we know. I got you guys beat. Check this out.
You can just say that's your brother or something.
Take a look. We got laying on the ground there. I did that for my grad school class. Everybody's got these backgrounds of like the Sistine Chapel, and one guy's got the inside of a church.
Oh, there you go.
So I put this bum passed out on the ground there. I thought it was pretty funny. Now that's the guy Siegfried. Who's
Yeah,
that
that's
guy?
becoming very popular.
Is that
That's
Show.
Tiger King.
Tiger
What's his?
King?
I forgot his name. But
It's
yeah,
Joe
it's,
Exotic.
yeah, Joe
I
Exotic.
think this one's. I like this one.
There you go. What's that, San Francisco Bridge?
Yeah, it's orange, right? So it's got to be right. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We'll see you Wednesday, huh?
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.